Hey everybody, welcome to the LL Spring Sports Roundtable. Once again, we got a full panel. Jason Garente's down there, Christian Eby, Brian Markley, Jeff Reinhardt here, LNP and Lancaster Online. We can see the finish line now, I think, in LL Spring Sports. We've had a couple of state finals are done. We're well into district playoffs and all the other sports. And the LL League is starting to lose some teams here in the playoffs. So we're here to break it all down. Let's talk everything LL Spring Sports. I'll get you started with tennis. Tennis 2025 is in the books and a great season for the LL crew. Let's start here. PIAA 3A doubles finals last weekend in Hershey. Cooper Lehman, Braylon Garcia, they win the PIAA AAA state doubles championship. Beat a team from Dallas Town 2-6, 7-6, 7-4, 6-3. in 2.5 hours. That's a long match. Congrats, Cooper and Braylon. You guys have been great. Cooper, you made a good choice going doubles here in the postseason. Well done. The Crest doubles by Seth Meng and Joe Shkreli, and the Pequot Valley doubles team, Cole Stoltzfus and Hayden Winey. They both lose in first round matches. Singles, Zach Kuiper, the LL champ. He made states. He loses in the second round. He did get a state win, but he was out in the second round. And Michael Georgelis from Extra Country Day, who has had an amazing career over there. He was ousted in the first round of states. He was the 2A champ last year. So great job, LL tennis crew. Another great year, including Lehman and Garcia as state champs. Okay, passing the baton. Let's go lacrosse. They're into districts, have some district champs. And states coming up. Go, Brian.
Sure do. We do have two district champions. We'll start with boys first. Manheim Township beat Central York last night 9-6 in what ended up being a rainy and cold evening, which seems to be the theme of the week. If you remember, the Blue Streaks lost to Wilson last year in the final. They beat Wilson 9-6 in the semifinal. Funny enough, the final score was the same as the semifinals. Freshman Chase Fletcher, he 3 assists and a goal. Freshman starter all year for the Blue Streaks on a team that has a lot of upperclassmen, so that's interesting. Township came out hot, 5 goals in the first quarter. Simon Bowen, we all know him by now, one of the best goal scorers in the LL. He got off to a hot start. Central York came out of the halftime break, scored 3 unanswered goals, made it a 2-goal game at 7-5. Bowen had a big goal in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, to kind of stop the bleeding, and then they just kind of ran the clock out. Once you get ahead and there's only 4 minutes left and you're up by 2 or 3 goals, it's very hard to come back. So that is Township's 7th district title. Good redemption story for some of those kids on the team last year, suffering that loss and then, coming back this year. We had another boys team in a district final game. LS went to Trinity. Christian was there, so I'm going to let him kind of give a quick rundown of what happened.
So again, rain kind of got in the way a little bit toward the end of the game there, but Trinity, it was just a defensive battle the entire way. Trinity goalkeeper Brad Brown nets 12 saves, including 5 in the first quarter. LS really held the possession advantage, but just could not really break through until early in the fourth quarter. Grant Phileas scores 2 goals. Finley Bear added 1 as well. And it just was little too much, a little too late, and just couldn't scrape across a win. But ultimately, good battle, but Ellis just wasn't quite enough.
And they will be the 2 seed in the state bracket, in the 2A bracket. Real quick, third place game. Wilson beat Penn Manor 17-7, so Penn Manor will be the 4th seed in states. Those are our 3 teams left: Township and Penn Manor in 3A, LS in 2A. In girls, Township again with another district title, 4th in a row, 16-8 win over Wilson. This game was close in the first half, but Olivian Palmer, UNC commit junior, 5 goals, 3 assists, including her 200th career goal, which is pretty important. Reagan Taylor had 5 goals in this one. She had her 100th goal in the semifinal round, where Township beat Hempfield 17-1. Lexi Kaufman had 2 goals and an assist. States. This is their Super Bowl now. This is what they're here for. They are ready to go, and this is kind of, I don't want to say this is when their season begins, but this is when things really start to get serious for the Blue Streaks. In that third place game, Hempfield beat New Oxford 18-8. So they will be in states as well. And yeah, we're ready for states. I believe everything kicks off next Tuesday, and that's all I have for lacrosse.
Excellent. Baseball. LL has a district champ. Jason, LS.
Lampeter Strasburg, Class 5A champs, first title since 2012, which surprised me that it had been that long. They were the only LL League team to win a district championship in baseball. Devin Aponte with the win. Braden Hart with a 3-run homer puts it onto the right field porch at Penn Medicine Park.
Nice.
That's a poke for a high school kid. Cooper Hillen closes it out on the mound. Didn't pitch the entire regular season, but he was a relief pitcher in the tournament and was a big reason why LS won this. And Cooper Williams pitched a no-hitter in the semifinals, which is worth mentioning. That's how LS got there in the first place. Beat Palmyra, which was 22-0, undefeated, and presumably the favorite in that game, the #1 seed. So LS is the champ. They get a home game in states and the sometimes coveted Western draw. So they'll get the teams from District 7 and the rural parts of the western part of the state. The only other team in that part of the bracket from the east is Conestoga Valley, which was the 4th seed out of District 4. CV making its first state tournament appearance since 1986, when Jeff was a young sophomore. Aspiring sports writer. And they've never won a state game, so this is a chance for CV to make history. There are 5 LL teams in the PIAA tournament in baseball. This is hard in baseball. There's only 16 teams in each bracket. We have 5 of the 32 in Class 6A and Class 5A. Also in 5A is E-Town, which is the 3rd place finisher in District 3. They beat CV 1-0 in a consolation game. Isaiah Shader pitched a gem in that one. And in 6A, the 2 Section 1 powers, Hempfield, defending 6A champ, lost in the semifinals to Cedar Cliff. First loss since last season's league championship, so it had been more than a year. So they will have the sting of that defeat. They will carry that as they try to win back-to-back state titles. They'll have Governor Mifflin in that field, of course, which is the district champ and the defending 5A state champion. So Hempfield's in. Hempfield gets the District 4 and 2 sub-regional winner. And also in that pod is Ephrata, which is the 4th place finisher in District 3. So if Ephrata and Hempfield were to both win, they would play for a 5th time, which Hempfield has won the first 4. So that's possible, but Ephrata has to get past the District 1 champion to get there, which is no easy task. So 5 LL baseball teams out of the final 32 in 6A and 5A.
Nice. Okay, that leads us to district volleyball. We're down to 1 volleyball team left here, gang, from the LL. Manheim, Central, and Cedar Crest were the last 2 going into the district, later rounds of districts. In 3A, Cedar Crest ran into 25-time champ Central York and lost. And then Cedar Crest came back in the consolation bracket, and they lost to Central Dauphin 3-0. So the Falcons are out, but tip of the cap to Monica Schaefer and her crew. First ever Section 1 title, first ever Section 1 championship. So tip of the cap, Cedar Crest, well done. 2A, Manheim Central, here they are again. Lost to Cedar Crest in the LL championship match, and that kind of got them fired up. They're kind of cruising here in districts. They beat Linville Hill Christian, not the boys basketball team, which was unbelievable, but the volleyball team, which is also having a great year. Central beat them in the semifinals 3-0. They really cruised. Barons have found their gear here in districts. So Central is in the District 3 2A championship match Thursday night. They get a home match at the Derb against York Suburban, and that's a rematch. Central beat York Suburban 3-0 earlier this year in a non-league match. Central's going for its first district title since 2019. They lost to Exeter last year, so the Barons are motivated. They're playing really well, and they are also into states. They qualified with the win over Linville, and Central wants to get back to that state championship where they lost to Meadville last year. Linville Hill, by the way, they are still alive. Warriors. They're in the 3rd place match in 2A. They need to beat Brandywine Heights to make states. If they lose, they're out. Okay, Christian, state track. A good time was had by all at Shippensburg.
Yes.
We had some LL winners, and it just capped a great year of track for LL. Go.
We sure did. So let's take a last lap here, pun intended. So starting on the boys' side here, Manheim Township's Adam Kingston grabs the elusive gold medal in the 3200, and he throws down just an absolute banger of a time, going 88:51.25. Had a really, really good, in the last 400 meters, just a really good battle, and was able to pull it out in the end. In 2A, David Moran just absolutely leaps from the 11th seed to win the state title in the 2A 800. Was talking about how he's still got to train harder. He's only a junior, but he throws down a time of 156.17 to take that title. And then I think an interesting note is Dr. Sebastian Hess. He was the 8th seed in the District 3 3A boys discus. Not only grabs silver at districts, but now finishes as a bronze medalist at states. So I think that was a pretty cool ascension that he went on there. Speaking of ascensions, which we've talked about her all postseason, Ephrata's Sophia Rivera just ran the gamut. Goes leagues, districts, and states in the 3A discus and shot put. In discus, she threw 143.3 this weekend and 43.3 in shot put. I think just an incredible run, historical to say the least. Cadell Howard does it again. What's new?
Really.
She takes down the PIAA 3A 400 meter for the 3rd year in a row. She's still dealing with that strained hamstring, but she churned out a school record time of 53.12 in prelims. Definitely was hampered by it in the finals, but still took a 54.37 and blew the competition away by almost 2 full seconds.
I can't do anything in 53 seconds. That's pretty incredible.
Lancaster Catholic's Margaret Bila defended her 2A discus title. They were dealing with bad weather all day, so she credited some throws that weren't quite up to her potential, but she landed a 137.3 to take top honors there. And then another cool story, I think, Penn Manor's Kate Harnish, who actually broke her leg last summer. Finishes 5th in the pole vault, and again, really bad weather, which was delayed at one point in time. She cleared 12 feet, and McCaskey's Ella Petrosky also swiped silver in the girls 100 and 200 in 3A, going 11.84 and 24.43. So just a lot of great action, a lot of just superb performances from locals.
You know what we need to see? Cadell Howard healthy and Ella Petrosky in the 200 meters next year. That'd be
a fun
incredible.
race.
The two best to ever do it in the LL League.
Wow, you had your hand in track a lot this spring. What blew you away? Now the track's done and they're putting
Well,
everything
Rivera
away.
sweeping the shot and discus in districts and states, incredibly hard to do in the 3A level. Ella Petrosky is 11.71 in the 100, and unbelievable. And Cadell Howard PR'd in the 400, which is, you got to keep in mind, the time she's running are 2 seconds faster than anyone else in the LL ever.
And that's a long,
And she did it at states too, almost 2 full seconds.
And
ahead of
it's just,
second place.
you kind of get used to the numbers because she does it every time, but the numbers are unprecedented. No one's in that ballpark. Those are national level athletes. And also, Dallastown kid high jumped 7.3 at states, which is number 2 in the nation, which is
amazing.
unbelievable.
Great track around here in the LL kids. Take a bow. You were fantastic. Okay, let's wrap it up with softball. There's only 2 teams left in softball. Solanco in 5A, Northern Lebanon in 4A. Northern Lebanon got to the 4A championship, lost to Kennerdale from Fawn Grove. Anybody here been to Kennerdale?
That's down there.
Great press box.
Fabulous. So Northern Lebanon, Vikes make the final, come up a little short. They go to states. Solanco continues their unbelievable season. They still only have 1 loss. They beat Twin Valley 3-0 in the semifinals. They're waiting for a winner between Greencastle and Redland. It's raining if you haven't noticed. So Greencastle or Redland will get Solanco in the District 3 playoffs. Solanco will move on to states. Kira Rourke, what a year for this kid. She threw a 3-hit shutout against Twin Valley, her 19th win. She's got 183 strikeouts in the circle, wow, and she's hitting 320 with 22 RBIs. Solanco will go for District Gold at some point this week. Solanco and Northern Lebanon will both go to states. Vikes, Mules, oh my. Okay, Good of the order, Jason, anything?
Messiah University baseball team in the Division III College World Series. First time for the Falcons. 6 LL players on the roster.
Wow.
LS grads Isaiah Parado and Jason Long, and Ephrata grad Drew Hurst are starters and regulars. Dylan Beard from Cedar Crest, also a prominent player on that team, so they go for a national championship starting Friday.
Fabulous. Christian?
Yes, 2 things. One late note from track. Manheim Township Unified wins their 3rd straight title, scoring 59 points. It was just great to see those kinds of things happen. So cool, and good on them. And then Brackbill Award winners after stuffing my stomach with a delicious lunch at the Eden last week. Anvil Cleanna's Landon Hostetter wins for the boys, and Donegal's Catherine Fernald for the girls with a astounding, as I open my story, 5.1 GPA. Don't think I'd ever heard that before.
That's impressive. That's the Student Athlete Award given out by the LL every year. Brian, anything?
LL Lacrosse All-Stars. They should be coming shortly. Stay tuned, as Jeff would say.
Stay tuned. Okay. Linden Hall, we barely knew you. Linden Hall was in the LL the last 2 years, the all-girls school in Lidditz. And they requested to leave the league. And the league voted unanimously this week to accept their request. So Linden Hall, and they only have like 3 or 4 girls teams in the league. So they'll be out, but their tennis team will stay on as an associate member. I think they're just having a hard time getting people to come out and play sports. I was told the basketball team would probably be only to have a JV team. So Linden Hall, it was a great 2-year run in the LL, but they're going to go and be an independent again. Okay, LL Spring Sports Roundtable. We're getting towards the finish line. We'll be in states in everything when we talk to you next week. For Jason, Christian, Brian, I'm Jeff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.